All right. Barbershop conversations, man. I hopefully I can get all of these thoughts out in this video, but I want to talk about the Earl Spence Fundora Terrence Crawford situation. I'm a man that sides with the truth and don't care how much I have to endure to stand for truth. I don't care, and 46 years running this race, I can literally say I've won. And that's what I stood for in boxing. And when I look at the Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence situation, hold on. I can see that they still don't get the big picture. Terrence Crawford is challenging Earl Spence on Twitter. Earl Spence is feeling himself for not having to, for feeling like he won up Terrence Crawford. When the reality is, just 1 year ago today, I was giving these guys game on top of game, on top of game, on top of game. And I'm just going to sit back and wait for one of them to say, Fred, you was right. I don't want it. I don't need it. But by now, everybody knows what's right, because they shook hands at the weigh-in and said Earl Spence said we made history. And they shook hands and moved forward. That's the same disposition they should have had for the remainder of their career. It looks like Earl Spence went back to Al Haymon. And this is why I said slavery is a choice. He went back to Al Haymon, the very man that put a pillar in between Terrence Crawford and Earl Spence in making that fight. I was giving you guys the play-by-play. I told you guys what was going on. I told you it was fraudulent negotiations going on. Terrence Crawford spilled the beans a little bit. He didn't go all the way in. He should have, because now he's been blackballed by PBC. Terrence Crawford, what you need to do is do an interview with me. Do an interview with me. The next time you're in LA, holla at me, dog. You know what I mean? You can come to the Hawthorne Estate, man. You can, if you need some designs, you can come look at my estate, give you some more ideas for the estate you're building down there in Omaha. You know what I mean? That'll never happen, but I'm just making light of it, because what didn't happen between Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford is they didn't keep that relationship going. They're the fools. Both of them. I know everyone's going to say, Earl Spence, haha, this, Earl Spence. Earl Spence is a pawn now. PBC has to make a big splash on Amazon Prime to stay in good graces with Amazon Prime, and they're going to use Earl Spence. Fundora Earl Spence has to be down there in Texas. They got to make money. And then Earl Spence is going to fight that fight, and then he's not going to fight for a year again. And he's going to be aged out of boxing. Not fought out of boxing. He's going to get aged out of boxing. And he went back to the very same slave ship, Amistad. You know what I mean? He went very back to Amistad. And I only tell these people the truth. Terrence Crawford went back to being the villain. Don't go back to being the villain. The same numbers that you use to call Earl Spence is the same very numbers that, hold up, we got to manipulate this system, dog. We got to win. Forget this arrogance that we got online and who's bigger and you're built like a linebacker. I don't do lines. Both of y'all going to lose in the long run. Who has won in the sport of boxing as a fighter? And both these fighters are not as big as the sport. They're not a Floyd Mayweather. They're not a Canelo. They're not an Ali. They're not a Sugar Ray. They're not a Chavez Sr. You are very good fighters that have good fan appeal. Not very good. And I think Earl's has dropped. Terrence's has went up. So you guys have good fan appeal. What you guys should have did was came together, fought on the same card. Earl, you're giving all those ticket sales to PBC. You're giving all those ticket sales to PBC. Yeah, you're going to do 40, 35, 40,000 against Fundora, but you ain't getting it. You and Terrence Crawford should have did what I tell all you fighters to do. Y'all should have did a rematch. Yes, you should have did a rematch, but what you should have did, you guys should have fought on separate cards. Yes. Or if you got and put up your own money, that's the same thing they're doing. That's the same thing that your promoters are doing. Terrence Crawford should have fought a top 10 to fulfill his mandatory. Errol Spence should have did a comeback fight. Terrence Crawford fights in Omaha. Errol Spence fights in Dallas. Whatever the numbers say versus who fight who first. I don't know. Malcolm X's birthday is on a Sunday this year. Terrence Crawford should have fought. Oh, they should have been fought, but, you know, as soon as the weather got good in Omaha, you should have fought Terrence. Simply put, was it March? You should have fought. Errol Spence should have fought 3 weeks later. Y'all would have made $5 million minimum. All the local endorsements. But I'm public enemy number one to the unwise. I repeat that again. I am public enemy number one to the unwise. Errol Spence is a pawn. Terrence Crawford is blackball. And y'all gonna ha laugh at each other. At this point, you guys got to understand, someone has to win and somebody has to lose as long as we both win. Y'all could have took control of the whole freaking narrative. No, Al Heyman is the boss. And looks like he's doing a great job at being the boss. At some point, y'all fighters got to wake up and be like, why am I only getting 60% of what I should be getting, and the government is taking the another 20%? So I'm going to be walking home with 40% of what I give you guys the game, and you guys say, oh, Fred, crazy. How the hell am I crazy when I've never had a sponsorship? I had a weed company wanting to sponsor me when I was doing millions of views during COVID. I got offered an ESPN job. I got offered a seven-figure movie deal from a major corporation, from a major studio. I didn't take it. And look, y'all see that there's a mansion on the other side of my fence. So that tells you the neighborhood I live in. Like, I don't understand for the life of me. Y'all taking all these punches, running all these miles, staying away from your family, being food, sleep, water deprived, only to have you punch drunk at 45 with no health insurance. Whatever promotional company you're on, you will not have health insurance. You will not have retirement. They will not financially teach you. I'm the only one. I am the only one giving y'all the game. The only one. Earl should have called Terrence. Terrence should have called Earl. Y'all should have created a plan. Y'all should have X'd out everybody. And now y'all got the power. Y'all should have controlled the belts. Terrence got 4. Earl, can you make 147? You can't? You can? Can you do a 4 more fight? You take one of these belts. I take 3. You hold power. We form Spence Crawford Promotions. We got whatever that freeway is that connects Omaha to Dallas. We get all these fighters from Omaha to Dallas, and we form our own promotional company. That's how every other promotional company started. We get all the local talent. We monopolize all the local talent. Don King started on a fundraiser with Muhammad Ali for a hospital. You think the hospital got that money? Bob Arum started with $10,000. Go watch my interviews. He said he started with $10,000, him and Jim Brown and a few others. He was a lawyer for Kennedy. For Kennedy. But, independence is not hard, especially when you got a running start. You got $20 million. Let's say, hypothetically, I don't know what they made on the fight, but let's say Earl probably got a little bit more, because let's say Earl got 20, Terrence got 15. Gross, y'all got a $35 million head start to make perpetuity money. But Earl goes back to Al Heyman, the man who didn't want him to fight Terrence Crawford, and Terrence Crawford resorts back to being the bully. They both lack wisdom. Earl Spence is going to be out of boxing from injuries, or he's going to get aged out. Terrence Crawford is going to be searching high and low for a fight, not getting the opponents he needs, and he's going to be teetering around retirement and frustration. Nobody's going to fight me. Who's going to win the purse bid for his fight? He's going to pull out, because the purse bid is going to be for $2 or $3 million. Earl is going to get $6 to $7 million for fighting Fundora, when he should be getting 15. You ain't got to fight in Dallas, Texas Stadium. You can go to Mark Cuban. Make a deal with Mark Cuban. He one of them liberal guys that'll give you the stadium for free. Hey, I'll take the parking. You take the ticket sales. Because he's going to make money off of advertising the stadium for the fight, the alcohol, the merchandise that's sold inside, and the parking. That's all I'm saying. Looks like Terrence Crawford got that city on lock. You know what I mean? I'm just mentally reminding myself of what the parade. I didn't watch the whole thing, but I may have saw a 5 or 6 minute video. Looks like thousands of people were there. He lost that momentum. You could rebuild it. But what do I know? That y'all were in the same position Mike Tyson and Evander Holyfield should have put themselves in. You were in the same position Chavez and De La Hoya put themselves in. De La Hoya was smart. Hold up. Golden Boy Promotions? Oh, shit, I can do this myself. I'm going to bring in a token black guy. I'm not calling the man a token black guy. I'm talking about for representation. I'm going to bring in a token black guy, and I'm going to see if I can get some black talent as well. That's what Hollywood does. That's what Hollywood is doing with, what's the guy's name? Steph Curry with the Good Times joint. It's terrible. But y'all go ahead and have a great day. When Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, they not woke. They not woke enough. They not tough enough. Both of them. I'm sitting here worth, man, listen. It's not a matter of how much worth I have absolute power. It's 8:44. Lincoln's about to walk out of here in 6 minutes, hop in the car, and I'm going to train him for 2.5 hours. And we're going to come back. Then we're going to the stretch coach. He's going to get stretched out. And then he has one more workout. He has a group workout later. And then we're going to watch Caitlin Clark versus LSU. On tape delay, because, but we're going to come back, and that's going to be our film study tonight. And we're going to do recovery on spring break. Y'all got to travel and do this and do that. Man, I got Paris. I got France. I got all this on my estate. I don't need to try. I don't need to get on the plane. I got my beautiful family. I can turn my house into any resort I want it to be. Y'all go ahead and have a beautiful day. But when fighters will never wake up. Fighters will never wake up because PBC made Errol Spence feel like he's better than Terrence Crawford. When in actuality, the fighters should be working together. But what do I know? I'm 5 minutes away from Lincoln jumping in his car and Daddy going to train him. Y'all go ahead and have a great day. I'm gone.